Gun video catalog.
Nice.
I skimmed through this one. This one gets fucking wild.
Due to the graphic nature of this program,
Fuck it.
Friendo should be on for this
is
one.
advised.
Oh.
Love the music.
Yeah, this should get fucking wild.
It does. It's long too. It's
I'm
like
Gordon
113 minutes.
For many years, I served as a law enforcement officer. Today, it's my privilege to host this program on
Top
a little-known
pastor.
area in law enforcement,
Nice.
but important to every small community and every large city across our vast country. It's the
Why don't they just
area
get
of
Ted
satanic
Gunderson to come out here and
cults
talk about it?
and how they impact our families,
Maybe
our
he's in the
children,
video.
and our communities.
Probably not, because he was actually telling the truth.
In satanic occultism, that which is good is bad, and that which is bad is good. And as you view this learning and educational tape,
Is that Satanism
pay
or
attention
is that
and
like,
notice the reverse of everything that is
Luciferianism or
normal
whatever?
becoming abnormal.
it's Ask
There are
Hitler?
many crimes that are unsolved in our
Oh,
cities,
Wilford,
and many of those
Wilford
crimes
Brimley?
have ritualistic
Yeah.
overtones.
You have
But they're
diabetes.
hard to
You're on
find,
Medicare.
and it's difficult
Liberty
to
Mutual
find
might be able to help
the
you out.
depth of where these things go and who may have done them. And so today we hope to be able to
Yeah, you
shed
don't
some
need to let
light
it slow you
on
down.
a dark, dark area.
You've got
An
grandchildren.
area that has been taboo for so many years. That is also
Yeah, the Church
protected
of
by
Satan
the
is
United
fucking
States
cringe. Those people are so
Constitution
fucking
and the
gay.
freedom of religion.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
bad.
why it's very difficult for us as law enforcement officers to really
It's basically
investigate.
like, oh, we're shit
But the
libs,
question
but
really
edgy.
is, where do the freedoms end and our responsibilities begin for our communities?
Was it do what thou wilt? Is that their whole deal?
Satanic
Thou
cults
be
and
gay.
their various offshoots
Yeah, thou be
exist throughout the
homos.
world.
And listen
However,
to
a
bad,
difficulty immediately arises with the
who's that
word
guy
cult.
that has Lucifer
Many
tattooed
cults
on his
fall under
chest?
the protection of the United States
I don't know.
You know what I'm
Constitution.
talking
Few
about?
people.
Freedom of religion. When we talk
Who's
of
involved with, like,
cults
the
and
Rolling
Satanism
Stones
from
and all
a
these
law
people?
enforcement perspective, we have to tread lightly. That is one of the reasons it is so difficult to investigate satanic cult activities. We know what the satanic cult professes to
It's
believe.
creepy looking.
We know what their potential for violence might be if they choose to be true to their belief. We even have evidence, here and there, that leads us to believe that some sort of rituals are taking
Kenneth
place.
Anger, Fugmaster knows what I'm talking
However,
about.
unless we catch them actually breaking the law, or find evidence
Yeah, he's
that
a
leads
weird fucking
directly
guy.
to participants in
Marina
some illegal
Abramovich is a weird
activity,
fucking bitch.
we have no case.
They're all fucking weird. They're doing fucking all types of weird
The
sex
problem
magic and
involved with
fucking
the
anti-age
cult
and shit.
explosion is becoming a
The
many-faceted
video of
puzzle confronting
Abramovich
law
and Jay-Z
enforcement today.
dancing.
Not only
Cringe.
is it difficult for us to understand
Really?
the
She's
like
practices of
72.
satanic worship, but
Yeah,
there
they're
are
Jay-Z and
dancing that
Abramovich
go
are-
beyond
Yeah,
mere
doing
lustful
some sort of art
power and
festival
the
thing.
unlimited
Oh,
pleasures and
it's
Art
dumb.
festival.
She's with like
that go with it.
everybody, dude.
Unfortunately, the police investigator
very
attempts
prolific
to
for
analyze
whatever
these types
reason.
of crimes with his routine of criminal investigation. In the cases of
Red Hot
satanic
Chili Peppers
practices
are still
involving
making
deviant
music?
sexual behavior,
Sure.
the investigator
Oh, that makes sense. I
forgets
think my
that
dad's
it was
going to see
committed
them
by
soon.
An abnormal person influenced
Wow.
by
Yeah.
many
I'm
strange
like, I don't
and
know why
complex
you'd want to go see
motivations.
them.
Therefore,
Yeah,
law
is it
enforcement's
1994?
analysis of
Yeah.
the crime
Maybe
and the
back then.
criminal must be guided
Yeah.
by the principles
Woodstock
of
99.
abnormal sexology.
Blood Sugar Sex Magic
imperative
was
that
like
these
their last
cases
like
be solved. They
good
are
album.
vicious
And that was back in
revolting,
1992.
and create fear in any community. Men are apprehensive for the safety of their wives, mothers, and daughters, women for their children and themselves. It is only through proper training that the police officer can hope to gain the ability to understand and recognize which are regular offenses and those that belong to cult behaviors.
Oh.
This is a law
We know
enforcement problem.
Joker's involved in cult behavior.
Therefore, all law enforcement
He should have like a
officers should be
knife that
familiar
he
with the
brandishes.
different
That
types
would,
of
I mean,
degeneracy.
I know
They'll
he
be
won't
able to
take it that
associate
far,
the type
but
of criminal with the offense
Yeah,
committed,
exactly. So,
and
yeah,
properly
that
charge
option works.
and prosecute the criminal in an intelligent manner.
The mute.
Yeah, cultists, that shit's, I would say, more dangerous than Satanism. Satanism, they're not going to do anything. You know what I mean? They're just LARPing.
There are three general areas and levels of involvement in satanic worship. The first
later,
would be
Mr. Blue.
dabblers. They're
Later.
people who just use it for
Dabblers.
fun and games, may be involved in some video games and that kind of level, possibly a little graffiti, but reasonably innocent. The
Possibly
second
a
level
little
would
graffiti.
be those that are involved for
I don't
spiritual
even know what color you
reasons,
are.
and they recognize that there's power in the worship of Satan. These people generally worship together and try to find the mystery of it all. And then the third level would be criminal involvement, and that's the area that interests us. These people actually believe that they gain power through criminal activity, through killing
No,
people,
they think they get power
various
through, like, sex
rituals
magic.
that are against the
Oh,
law
they get into
in
it.
our states and in our country.
The music rocks.
And God forbid any of the shit that they were doing on Epstein and Island. God forbid they were like removing children's faces to the face
Eric
of God
Pryor
thing.
is a former
That's some of the
Satanic high
scariest
priest
fucking
turned
shit I've
Christian,
ever heard.
who now
I
spends
hope
his
that's
time
not real, but
educating people about
probably
the dark
is.
side of satanic
This
cults.
guy was a former Satanist turned pastor.
When I was a practicing occultist,
I think
He's got a
look at that
freaking
mullet.
mullet.
I think he's also
Wow.
practiced
former
on various
gay.
different
You know
holidays, lunar holidays.
Gay for
how they
pay.
have those.
holidays.
Yeah.
We'd actually have rituals in the park when we didn't have a space to do rituals indoor. So what I'd like to do is take you into the park and just kind of show you one of the places that you would start asking your questions and start looking to see, what the occultists are up to. There's two different communities that use this park. One is the pagan or occultic community.
Find
and
what
the
these
other community
occultists are
is,
up to,
of
and
course,
that shows on the
homosexual
cult map.
community.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, they go hand in
They got
hand.
the inside scoop.
And so, well, see, here you go. Upon entering the park,
Totally
I mean,
did
you
not
can see
do that
they've
for the
already got
video.
started. Okay.
Wow, that
this
looks
is a
so
pentacle.
fake.
Interesting
That
thing
tree
about
looks
this pentacle is it's an upright pentacle. This is not a satanic pentacle.
Oh, it's
Now,
spray paint. I thought that was
The
carved.
reason why this pentacle would not be considered satanic is because it has one point up.
And it also looks like
now,
shit.
Satanists would reverse
That tree doesn't even
this
look real.
star or pentacle.
That's
as
what I'm
it's called.
saying. It doesn't look real.
It's like a
Those
prop
represent
tree.
The horns of Baphomet, and or
No,
the
it's
horns of
supposed to be
Satan.
upside down and it's the
Yeah,
horns
but
of
now,
Baphomet. You
right
fucking
over here,
retard.
That's what he
right?
just said.
Over here, there's a
Oh, he
there's
said
a,
upside down?
Inverted
He
cross.
said it's
Now,
not a
this
real
is satanic.
pentagram because it's not
This is a
upside
very
down.
generic symbol.
Oh, then what
Um,
is this? This is just
see.
weird
Oh, he's just
edgy
telling you
shit?
what to
Well,
look
it's
out
actually fairly
for.
fresh too.
So you don't get it
Um,
confused. If you see a
This here,
regular
of course, is,
pentagram,
That's a
but it's
lazy
turned upside, then it's
bastardization
totally
of
you don't have
Then
to
it's
worry.
the
You don't have
Venus
Satanists in your
symbol.
neighborhood.
Symbol. Obviously, they
Then it's the
probably had a
transit of
party
the
or-
symbol
or
for
ritual
Venus.
here within the past night or
Because
two.
Venus makes that star shape as a
Usually, what they'll do
I
is
don't-
they'll
as, like,
mark.
we-
It's almost
That-
like a
why do they have
path.
to show that
They'll mark
picture
a
of the
path
of the
to
map?
kinda show
Yeah,
you
that's
where the
like
action's at.
who cares?
The colors
It's
they'll
just a
use
park.
will be white, red, and black. Those are the dominant colors of the Satanic movement. And basically, well, okay, over here, see? Here you go. This, well, see, this is what I'm talking about.
What?
Come
Okay,
on.
what you're looking at here
What?
is called voodoo.
You just have
graffiti.
vandals, then.
What?
This is kind of like a coat of
And this
arms,
here
if you
is
will,
a
for
giant
the
cock,
demonic.
and it says "come"
And,
underneath it.
the implications
This is
of
real
this
bad. This is
is
bad
definitely
news right
satanic.
here.
When I showed you earlier the one pointed up star as we first came in, and I told you that the implications of Satanism are 2 points up. As you can see, there are 2 points up here, and someone has made it very clear they were probably worshiping Set, because it says Set here, so it's pretty obvious. Now
What is it,
this here,
sex?
if I'm not mistaken, looks like a money VV. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were here in the park doing a money ritual. And
Why do they need to
this
use
is
the
very
park?
typical. This is the kind of thing that you can expect
Well, where else
to
are they
see,
gonna go?
Not only on crime
Dude, I met a dude
scenes,
in
but
rehab that
areas
was
where
breaking into
occultists hang
houses
out.
and performing rituals. That's what he
Like
said.
gang graffiti,
that's pretty
occultists
crazy.
kind of communicate to
While,
each other
while,
through
while
their
under the
graffiti.
influence of
On the rise there, up
mushrooms.
here
Satan.
is a very flat area.
Oh man, if I were on
concrete
mushrooms, I do
area,
not want to go doing
that
that.
is used.
That sounds like a bad
Often,
time.
I even frequented
Yeah.
it for ritual practice. Well, there you go. You can see from here 666
This is a
and an
swastika.
eye. Now that eye above 666 is an Egyptian
That eye above the poop swastika.
the eye of Anubis. So I can
Anubis.
tell by looking at this eye that these people that were
That
up
was
here
Anubis.
were into ceremonial
is.
A
magic.
Nubian. My
These
Nubian
aren't witches,
sisters.
These are definitely Satanists. You look at these dumpsters. See, this is how
I
they
got
talk to
some
each
love
other.
for my Nubian
Now,
sisters.
What you see here.
You turn the
this is
corner
gang
and there's a
graffiti,
homeless guy
okay?
jacking off.
And this
Yep.
this is how gangs talk to each other. Okay? But now this is
That's
how
just
occultists talk to
that's
each
just
other.
shitty graffiti.
Yeah,
This
that's
here is a psilocybin mushroom. So probably they had a psilocybin
Well, how does he know
ritual,
that?
which is not
It's
uncommon.
just a
Yeah.
mushroom.
Occultists are known for using peyote and psilocybin. And so this was probably
I mean, hey, you just
a
said prophet. That guy
psilocybin
was taking
ritual.
mushrooms and
Okay, here you go.
Yeah, performing rituals.
you got to
Shem
keep an eye on
Hembrash.
tasty cakes.
Is a satanic
Make
invocation.
sure he doesn't get
and
into
Hallie is also part
Satanism
of a satanic
from all the
invocation.
mushrooms he's been
There
doing.
is a
Let's
book
say there's
out
she-mail.
called The Greater Key of Solomon.
Daily she-mail.
And in the Greater Key of Solomon, you will see on the seal of Solomon this word. All right, from what I can
What?
tell, from the graffiti and everything that I've seen,
Just looking out for you, taste.
and what I see here on the concrete, it looks like they actually had the ritual here. Now, there's an N here for north, and there's an S over here for south. Now, while these are not the true directions, obviously someone had a bad sense of direction, I'm assuming that this is where they actually had their ritual. One of the reasons why they would use this particular area to have a ritual is it is on concrete, and
Sand.
it's a nice open
and
area.
I can see the load
When we
stain
used to
right
come
here,
up
here, and
have
here.
rituals, and we had a group, we would look for an open, flat space. This is an open, flat space. This would be an ideal place for them to have a ritual. Now, if I was a solo occult practitioner, I might
Ideal.
do it
What does the city
in
set it
the
up for?
bushes somewhere and have a little
Just for
altar
that.
set up. So what you're doing is when you come onto a scene and you're investigating a scene, you
I mean,
look
this
on
guy
the
was a
ground
former
and you'll find
Satanist, dude.
clues
He
as to what
knows.
happened.
Yeah, this guy is
He's
He's
like
totally
here.
not a
boots
grifter.
on the ground.
Okay, we have a rope here. This is a this is a
Oh,
noose.
okay.
And actually, if you look
It
at
looks
it
like the
closely,
rope
I
that
don't
was
know if
found
the
in
camera
Bubba
can pick
Wallace's
this up, but there's blood
locker.
Garage
in this
or
noose.
whatever.
Or
Yeah.
wherever the fuck. Yeah.
Now,
The one to pull
this
the
could have
door
been
down with.
used either to bind someone up in some type of a
Dude,
ritual
our
scourging,
sister like believed that.
or it could have actually been
Well, of
used
course,
on an
because she
animal
believes propaganda.
Yeah.
that was sacrificed.
And I was just,
When
I was
sacrificing
like,
a cat or a dog,
Give it a day. Just
course,
wait a
animals-
week.
I was
and
like,
then
there's
think
no
of- Just
hope.
think
Yeah,
about it
literally,
and wait a
there's
week.
no hope.
they would tie
when
it
you
up,
do, when
but
you're
literally
that
blood all over
brainwashed.
this particular
Every
noose.
single
And
one
these
of
are the
these
kind of
stories about the
things that
racism,
you'd be looking for.
you wait a week
What we
and
have
then you
here
find out it's fake.
Is a
Wasn't there
medicine
some
bottle
like
of
Duke
2%
volleyball
xylitol.
player who
Yeah,
accused?
yeah, that was.
For those of you
And then
with
turned out it was all fake.
knowledge, you
Turned
would
out it was all
know,
fake. Made it all up.
xylitol,
Yeah,
known
just a
as
graft.
Lidocaine
Made it all up.
is
Awesome.
a numbant. It's used to numb.
I haven't watched The Righteous
people,
Gemstones, but that's on my
and for
list.
that matter, animals.
I
And of
like
course,
the
if you're going to ritually sacrifice an animal,
Danny McBride, Jody
or
Hill
a human for
HBO
that matter, in a
shows.
public place, you don't want them to be.
I don't
screaming
really
and
like
cleaning.
him.
So
I
it's not
tried, dude.
uncommon
I
for
tried
occultists
Eastbound
to
and
use
Down.
something
That's
I think
Eastbound
he's-
and Down guy,
he's-
right?
Yeah, Eastbound and Down.
Here we have it.
Like,
I really
tried.
like
I just do
have
not
some more
Vice
graffiti.
Principals.
Red,
That was a
which
really
is
funny
a
show.
classical
I just do not
satanic color.
enjoy him.
Now, what's interesting here is the number 9.
Don't know.
9 represents
I don't
the 9
dislike him, just
satanic
not for me.
No, there's no worries, man.
You can find this.
We
in,
cool.
It's like
We
Louis
cool.
C.K.
Anton
Louis
Sanzer
Louis
LaVey,
C.K. was never for
which is
me. I
called
don't
the
like any of
Satanic
his
Bible,
work.
and you will see that there are
Don't
9
care.
satanic statements. This
Must have
is,
been convenient
the way
for you
occultists tell
whenever
each other, hey, we're
It
Satanists.
was. It's like, oh, I
scandal
don't care
came
about
out.
him.
It's like, oh, no
we're
worries.
partying.
Yeah, good. I don't care. You don't need.
The 9
Don't tell
Satanic
me about it.
Statements
Oh,
from
here
the
we go.
Satanic Bible by Anton LaVey. Number 1. Satan represents indulgence instead of abstinence. Number 2.
Is any
Satan
of this even
represents vital
true?
I don't think anyone
existence
liked
instead of
Dane Cook.
spiritual pipe dreams.
Because like,
Number 3.
is any of this
Satan
even like
represents undefiled
backed
wisdom
by anything in
instead
the
of
Bible, or is this
hypocritical
just made up
self-deceit.
shit? You know what I mean?
It's
Number 4.
whatever Anton LaVey
Satan
came up with.
represents kindness
Exactly,
to
so it's just
those
made
who
up
deserve
shit.
it. instead of love wasted on ingrates.
Who is the blonde bitch he was fucking?
Number 5.
Oh, the one that looked like
Movie
Taylor
star?
Swift.
Vengeance.
The movie
instead of
star.
turning the other cheek.
Right?
Maybe it
She
was
a
Anton
movie star?
LaVey's
Number
daughter
6.
who looks like
Satan
Taylor Swift.
represents
She's hot.
responsibility
No,
to the
well,
responsible
maybe, but
instead
he
of
was banging a
concern for
blonde that
psychic
looked.
vampires.
What was her
Number
name?
7.
They weren't married.
Satan represents man as just another animal, sometimes better, more often worse than those that walk on all fours, who, because of his divine spiritual and intellectual development, has become the most vicious animal of all.
Yeah, backed by the Bible. Well, isn't Satan? Aren't there descriptions of what he talked and shit in the Bible? Doesn't
Satan
he? Isn't
represents
he in
all
there?
of the so-called
Aren't there?
sins,
Isn't he in
as
the
they all
Gospels
lead
or
to
something?
physical,
Doesn't
mental,
something
or
talk about him?
emotional
Could really
Where
use
did
Friendo right now.
And
Yeah,
number
where did
9.
Anton LaVey pull
Satan
this
has been
shit
the
from?
best friend the church has ever had, as he has kept it in business all these years.
They really love this map.
This is the symbol for the Church of Satan.
It's like it has
and
to be a
this is
symbol or
kind of
something.
Like
I don't
their
know.
crest, their coat of arms, if you will.
Coat of arms.
What, you
This
mean like
would
they're sneaking
imply
something in there,
that
or
these
like
people
Yeah, like it's a
have
seal.
affiliations
Yeah, like the,
with
the
Church of
map is a
Satan
seal or something.
or perceive themselves
might be.
to have affiliations with the Church of Satan.
That's
Everything
peak
that we've
schizo, though. I
seen
mean, they're
here
really-
indicates
or
Satan.
they're just really
Different
proud of the
ritual
job
sites
that
will
their
have different configurations and
graphics
markings.
guy
Literally
did.
glowing.
But this gives you a good example of what to look for. First, upon entering the park, the pentacle and
Friendo is a
cross
fear
were
merchant.
displayed. Second, further up the path,
He was
we
scared
found
me.
a
Yeah, that's
voodoo
true. He
gate
was
which
scaring me with the
indicated a money
hurricane.
ritual.
He was like getting me more worried than like.
Third, at the open
You need to go
cement
buy
areas
boards.
that
You need to
are
board up your
common to
windows.
satanic activity, we found graffiti
probably
that
had
showed
to,
recent
but,
activity.
you know.
In addition, we found a bloody
Would
Would
mess.
your
ended up
landlord have
fine.
been
Xylocaine vibe.
okay with that?
I don't know.
Fourth,
She's like,
on the
no,
way
if
out
they
of the
break,
park,
I'll get
we found
insurance
another
money.
inverted cross. And
Like, well, if they
the
break,
number
the
9,
shit will come through my
which, as
window.
we
And she's like, that's
demonstrated,
fine.
represents the 9 satanic statements.
Yeah, I don't
from
know. She's
the
Eastern
Satanic
European, so who knows?
Bible. Fifth and finally,
Oh, yeah,
we
she
found
just would have
markings
been like-
indicating that the ritual
Yeah, she
was
wouldn't
by
have-
followers
yeah,
of
no.
the Church of Satan.
Wait until it gets
Behind
ruined,
me is
and
the
then see
city
if you
of San
actually have to fix
Francisco.
anything.
A city known for the first satanic church in
Diabetes.
America. Anton LaVey established this church under the freedoms of our country in 1966 and wrote the Satanic Bible.
Anton LaVey, perhaps the best-known
You know,
Satanist in
music.
America, compiled his years of cult knowledge into two of
penis?
Satanism's most important handbooks, the Satanic Bible and a companion,
I don't know who these
the
people are.
Satanic Rituals. The general practice of Satanism promotes 3 basic areas of attraction: gratification of flesh, gratification of ego, and power. Some Satanists, and a significant number of others, feel that Satanism is a viable way of getting supernatural help because they are too distant from the
Just
good
become a
God
Freemason.
to have any hope of reaching him. The good
you want
God
financial
and
help,
his
just become a
virtues,
Freemason.
such as beauty and joy,
At least try
are
it.
essentially impractical.
Should help you. They should give you a
And
job or help you
It
out.
would
Find
be easier
like,
to catch
hooking
the
you up
notice
with, like,
of an
connections
evil
and shit.
God
What?
than a good one.
You need Satanism, dude. You don't need
To better
Satanism. You
understand
just need
Satanism,
Freemasonry,
it might
dude.
be
You
appropriate
want
to
financial
talk
gain.
about some of the initiation practices for Satanists. And to better understand them, you would take a look at what might be traditional
you're a white man.
Christianity or some
Yeah, yeah,
normal faith. And
If you're black, you might
reversed
want to
it, it
stick
would
to
be
Satanism
something
or
that
Santeria,
Satanists would
maybe.
Or just
embrace.
being black, or just you can just or just say
Initiation
minority.
into Satanism or a similar cult usually
becoming a
includes a
black
spoken
Muslim.
denial of the Christian faith, generally accompanied by saying the Lord's Prayer backwards.
That's having to say that
Rebaptism in
backwards.
Satan's name and
Ugh.
taking a new name to replace the given
I can't even do that. I've been so nervous. I mean, I already have the DUI, but like, if I were to get like pulled over again and like I was sober, and they're like, say the alphabet backwards or
and
something.
a promise to sacrifice.
I always feared you that
children to
question. It's like I
Satan,
can't do that.
marking the initiate.
Retarded.
I used to
Devil's
practice all the time.
I'm fucking retarded, especially if
This
I'm on the
program
spot.
is
Like,
designed to help law
I
enforcement
think I
officers
could do it
better
right now.
understand
The
satanic
chat doesn't
cults.
want to hear me do the alphabet.
Now remember,
backwards.
all satanic people do not commit crimes. Some of their activities are perfectly
Chat's
legal.
busy spamming.
But there
Yeah.
are some
Backward.
things that some Satanists do that lead to illegal behavior, and some of them seem
Oh, so
rather
close.
innocent on the surface. Some of those things might be just simple vandalism.
For the second time.
Or trespass.
See,
Cruelty to animals.
I still gotta take
might
a shit.
Be detected through mutilations and sacrifice. Kidnapping, whether they're adults or children or.
My favorite is when
kidnapping
Z
of
does like the
animals.
multiple question marks with what the fuck or
Rape.
something.
Molestation, child abuse, child sexual abuse that may be different than just
He
harming
uses a
child.
lot of little
Ritual
stickers
abuse.
interspersed
Arson,
in his text.
murder,
And,
which might include
quote,
human
randomly
sacrifice,
quoted words.
or mass murders, or cannibalism, drug trafficking, sexual trafficking of children, corpse theft, cemetery
theft?
vandalism, black market sales of bones and skulls,
Dude,
black market
where's this
baby
happening?
selling, pedophilia,
Baby selling?
pornography, torture, desecrating churches or other
Kurt
religious
Cobain had an
buildings,
interview where he like bought
human
body parts
slavery,
from a Church of America,
Weapons
Mall of America
violations.
place.
Really?
suicide,
Yeah.
disposing of animal parts, illegal entry into mortuaries and cemeteries,
Yeah.
necrophilia.
He probably just
or
killed
having
himself because
sex
he's like,
with
oh
dead
wow.
people. These things may or
Everything's
may
fucked.
not
I mean, I
be
guess that is why he
satanic
killed
kinds
himself.
of rituals, but they're important to
Yeah,
note
he got
in
too
your
black-pilled.
reporting
Yeah, he just
because
got
they
too
will
black-
fit together in a
doomer-pilled.
fabric as follow-up
Yeah, he was
investigations
doomer-pilled
might
before it was a
indicate
thing.
deeper
Got
need
Cobain
to look
pilled,
into
that's what they
the
should call it.
dark side of your community.
No one wants
note
to
them
blow
well
their head
and
off with a
ask the
shotgun.
investigators to do a
You
little
know?
further follow-up if you find any of these indicated
Pal,
in
there's,
a
like,
crime
legitimate
or a police report.
Questions whether or not he could have even done it on.
No, I know. But let's just assuming that the
Like a
main
cover up with the sheriff. Sorry.
And there's just so much he had so much heroin in his system that
There
it was
is a
like, how was he
difference
able
between
to
Satanism,
activate a
voodoo,
shotgun?
and
He's probably
witchcraft.
just like,
And what I'd like to do is show you
Like,
different
literally,
altar
like,
setups so you can
when you're on
familiarize
heroin,
yourself
you can't control. You'll snap in and
how
out
these
of
people
blacking out,
operate
and you can't
and
control how
their
long you're
various
blacked out
different
for, or
paraphernalia.
how long you're gonna be awake for before you just
These
you can't
particular
control it and you
groups,
black out. So like,
that
is he
I'm
holding?
going to show you the different altar setups of.
Is that
are
another
the
like
type
a
of
wax
groups that
doll? We
would
get another wax
most
doll.
probably be
Is it a
involved
dildo?
in criminal activity.
Oh,
While
fuck.
you wouldn't find all this stuff at a crime scene, you will find evidence that they have been at a crime scene. For instance, you might find something like this pin here, which
Huh?
is used
A
to
pin?
penetrate a pulpit like we have sitting here. But then again, there are other things that might be
You might
left
find
behind
cigarette
that would
butts.
indicate voodoo. Now, voodoo is colorful, and usually beads and
yeah, I
shells
believe
are
that Courtney.
Oh, hey,
I
boring
don't think
stream.
she pulled the trigger,
What
but
you're
I think
looking
that
at
she put the
here
hit on
is
him.
2 small conch shells and some beads. Now, this is what a priest would put on the necklace.
Courtney was
such as I'm
sleeping with
wearing
Air
here.
Force generals at
It's to
16 for
indicate
CIA.
high priesthood.
That's like a fact.
You might
That is a
find,
fucking fact. Like, you
conches
can look
like
up the
this
exact
with
generals
beads.
that she was fucking at like
You
16
might
years
find
old
powders like this left
as a
behind.
prostitute near one of the bases. She talked about it.
This is the type of stuff that would
And then you
usually
tell
be
me
left
that, and then they
behind in
used
a
her to
crime
fucking
scene.
get Cobain and
You're not going to
fucking
find
mind rape a generation.
candles intact, and if you do,
Doomer pill
you
generation.
might find a candle very similar to the one I'm holding here. Now, you might look at this candle
Cobain
and say,
found
well,
out what his
makes
producers
this
were
candle
doing, and then they
different?
killed him.
Well,
Or
first
that
of
too,
all,
yeah.
any candle that's used in Santeria,
It's endless.
Macumba, or voodoo,
Kurt Cobain, didn't he
generally will
fuck a
have
retard?
a patron saint on the front.
Yeah, that's.
Now, this is the saint that they would
Okay,
be
according to
paying
him.
obeisances to, you know,
Yeah, I'm not
lighting
like
the nicotine up to.
he admitted to
drinking
it.
the rum
Yeah.
to, and smoking the cigar smoke to. But on the
I
back,
mean, as long as they're of
they'll
age,
have a prayer to that patron
alive,
saint
cisgendered.
that is
Yeah,
only
Cornell went
Cornell
that
had-
way, and the guy from Link Power. They didn't do it like base
candles
Lane
used in
Staley. He got
Santeria,
doomer pilled and just
Macumba, and
played
voodoo.
video games.
Another
and
thing that you
overdosed.
might find.
Yeah, had a cool
be
life.
small
People would
vials
see him
like
at the
this.
fucking at the
These
convenience
vials
store like
will
every day,
contain
and people
some
would be like,
type
"That's
of a
Lane
ritual
Staley."
oil. Usually, these oils are poured over a coal in a ritual practice.
Cornell and Cobain got their start
you might
at this
find a lot
record
of
place
empty
out of Washington.
oil
Sub
vials
Pop.
at
Pop,
a ritual
yeah.
site.
That guy, this
What you're
Pullman, the
looking
guy
at
who owns
here
it's kind of weird.
Is a
Really?
classical satanic altar.
I've never heard
setup.
anything. Like I'm well
Now,
aware.
there are
Listen to
more
the
than
Okay.
one type of
Sub Pop
satanic group.
back
There are
in the
rogue
day.
satanic groups. Where you have a
Apparently
bunch of
he
young
grew up
people that
around
get
somewhere in
together
Ohio, and then Dan
and they
Pullman,
read
who
books
is
such as the
Energy
Satanic
Defense
Bible
Secretary,
by
was also
Anton
in like
Saint
within the
Gervais,
same area. They have the same last
or
name.
some of the stuff that is published
That
by
is
the
weird.
Temple of Set, which is also
I read some
another
WikiLeaks shit that I
large
thought-
church of Satan. But now an organized satanic group has an organized way of setting up its altar.
Well, I mean, it's not out
What
of the
you're looking at here is
because
a
they were just like an
classical
indie
satanic
label.
altar setup.
Like, there's no reason
Very
why like
Spartan.
grunge, like, because they were
Two
like one of the
candle
labels that
holders.
really like started
One candle would have a
grunge.
white.
There's
one
no
would
reason
have a
for that
black.
to become as big as it did.
You'd
like, as
have a
genre.
Baphomet candle in the center.
Like, you could never, like,
or a
Nirvana
Mendes
would
goat is
never
what it's called.
become as big as they did if they
You
were
would
to come
have
out like
A
today.
male candle on the left-hand side, and a female
Not unless
candle
like
on
people
the
wanted
right-hand
it to.
side.
Like the
That's
record
what-
companies,
that's what I
'cause
You would
mean,
have
yeah.
a skull, which is
Like,
considered
Sub Pop was
the
just
barrier
like
of
an
death,
independent
and a
label, and
bell
it like became,
to
it got
ring
like
for each one of
propelled
the 9 satanic
over like
statements.
others.
And they would ring it. You would also have 2 ceremonial daggers. One ceremonial dagger is actually used in directing the forces of magic, the way occultists would do that. As
Yeah,
in
I got nothing for
directing
beyond
their
the connection.
powers.
We said other than the name, Clinton era.
And the other dagger, which would be called a bolane, would actually be used in ritual work. If I were going to sacrifice someone, I would use my bolane. It's considered a working knife.
If you
So
were
in
to
a
sacrifice,
satanic
Yeah.
altar setup, you're always going to look for
You'd
2
use the work
knives.
knife.
Like, yeah, well, he says he was a Satanist. Maybe this is
Okay,
something
what
he's
you're
done.
looking at here is
What, is he
a
confessing to
basic
murder?
witchcraft
Like, I don't
setup.
get
Low
it.
key, yeah.
Now the difference is
He's really
you
getting
don't
into
see
the zone.
bells.
Seems to
You
know a
don't
lot.
see the Satanic Bible,
Knows a lot about
and
murder.
you'll see a couple extra things here. For instance, most
He knows what
witches
is
are
and
very
isn't
adept
murder.
at using the tarot, witches are very, very big on an art called scrying or fortune telling.
Oh, he gets to
Another
that part later.
interesting
Born
addition is that, notice, the candle holders are wooden. Witches perceive themselves to be nature-centered religious belief systems, so that they use as many natural elements as possible. The other thing is, instead of having a ceremonial
That's
dagger
dumb.
like we have here that would be used in Satanism, they would just
Yeah, the
use
dagger's
a
not made
very
of wood.
simple one dagger.
It looks cool.
That's
Made out
called
of
an athame.
Hollywood.
Now, the athame is used when they charge the wine, which would be in the chalice. The athame would be used when they charge the wine, which would be in the chalice.
Prophet.
Assassin's
The
Creed.
salt, which would be in the salt
What?
bowl. And
VBC
the water,
is a
which would be in the
question
water
for you.
bowl, as well as the incense. Another interesting
I put
addition we
60
have
hours
here-
into it. I played it
This
on Game Pass for free.
This is
I
one
put
of the
60
gods
hours
of
into
the
it.
witches.
I'd say it's worth
And the
it.
center
There wasn't
for any
anything.
witchcraft altar piece
It didn't
will
piss me
have
off.
Either Kyrinus,
Normally,
which is
Assassin's
the
Creed
god of the
games
witches, or
really
Diana.
piss me off at some point.
Another thing that witches will often
This one really
have
didn't aggravate
on
me
their
at all.
altar
It just kind of I got fatigued
is
from it.
a mortar
It's a lot
and
of the same
pestle,
shit
because
over
they
and over
work a
again.
lot
It's massive.
Look at that
It's
skull.
with
fucking massive.
pharmakeia, or various different
Like a
incenses.
cartoon.
Now, this is an incense we have here
I'm glad I played it.
that would be used in ritual
I would
practice.
never play an
Notice they're very
Assassin's
bright
Creed
in
game at
color.
launch ever again, but maybe once
And
everything
there are
is
many
done
different
for it and they've
kinds.
fixed
These are the
things,
kind of
maybe
things
I'll
that
try
you
them.
might find
And
left
if they're
over
free,
at a crime scene, you might find
or
little
very, very
piles of
cheap.
colored. It looks like chalk, but it's not chalk. It's actually incense.
Put some in his nose.
And if you were to
Give
take
him
it
a
and
nice sniff.
smell it, it
Yep.
usually has a very fragrant smell. Another thing that you'll find is usually there's chalk.
Use condoms.
There's usually a piece of
Yeah,
red
that's what I
chalk
thought. Like,
and a piece of white
That's
be
what
like
I'm
used
expecting
rubbers.
to find if
This
I
is
see a
used to
pentagram.
draw a circle around the ritual area, and it's called a
dude, I can
boundary
remember
between the
finding a
worlds.
used rubber on the
what
playground
they
when
will
I was
do
like
is
10.
Yuck.
various different
Like, I
magical
didn't touch it or
symbols.
anything, but it was just there.
It's
And
still
somebody was like,
gross.
that's a used
Believing that these
condom.
symbols will seal
And it was
off
like,
an
what
area.
the fuck?
You're
Now,
10.
witches are
If I were
known
10,
for
I don't
their-
know if I would be able
their
to fully
artwork.
comprehend it.
They're drawing
No,
of
somebody else said
symbols.
it.
Oh,
I was
someone
like, that's
heard-
a
oh,
used
yeah.
condom.
Colored powders.
And I was just like,
Um,
what? And obviously
And
I
of
knew what that
course,
was
the use
because
of
like a
natural
10.
products like wooden candle holders, even wooden knives. And so this would be more indicative of witchcraft. As you have
The
seen,
yellow makes it
the
witchcraft.
difference between the items you might find on an altar from the various different occult styles is subtle. When you pay attention, you'll see that there is indeed a distinct difference. These differences
I saw
will
people
give
changing the
you
color
an
of emotes. I'm like,
understanding
what the fuck?
of the type of group you're dealing with. And when you know the type of group you're dealing with, you'll also learn to understand how they think, where they'll congregate, and where they'll be.
Oh, how do you do that? How do you change the colors?
It's the HTML markdown. It's like the marquee.
Oh, okay.
There are many different satanic symbols.
Not-
Here are a few
Most
of
of
the
the,
more
I think
common.
all the bad stuff was filtered. I haven't had a
The
problem.
inverted
But
cross. This is used to defame the Christian religions.
like when
In
Faust
a
used to
righted
post the thing that took up the
Christ's
entire chat
head
or
would be looking
post it
up
over
towards
the stream.
In this position, it would point downward towards Satan and hell. By defaming a Christian symbol, the thought is that power is taken away.
Oh, nice. You can blur it.
The numbers 666. According to the Bible, these numbers 666 are the mark of the beast. The
It was probably
pentagram,
homeless people boring
This
stream.
inverted star points downward.
That is weird that
towards
someone
hell
was
and
like
Satan.
fucking like.
It is a
Was that
popular
an?
symbol
You would
that
have
has
10.
no
So what? Were
meaning
you in
other than
5th grade,
a satanic
Prophet?
one, and there may be
Fourth.
many
I
versions.
specifically remember it was 4th grade.
Yeah. So
The
at,
voodoo
that's not
demon,
even at a middle
as
school.
we
At
saw in the
elementary
park,
school.
It represents the type
Yeah.
of
Some
ritual
people
that
are like
occurs.
fucking on the playground. That's
The
really weird.
anarchy, which is the
Yeah, it
symbol
is
of
crazy.
rebellion.
And leaving a condom behind. That's like almost like kind. That's kind of
And the
creepy. That's
swastika.
kind of like that's got to be
In
like a
past
little.
history, this symbol has been
intentional,
used by
right?
witches and warlocks as a
Yeah, it's
magic-
fucked
Because if
up.
I were
And leave
degenerate
a-
enough
a glossary
to
of
have
selected
sex like
terms.
at an elementary school
The altar.
playground, I don't
table used
I don't
for
think I
satanic
would
rituals.
be even more
Normally a
degenerate to be
table of
like,
flat
yeah, I'm
rock,
gonna leave.
but can also
I'd
be
be
a
like,
beautiful
Leave the
fucking
female
rubber.
being.
Like throw it.
The Antichrist. The Bible's
house
book
is
of
around there,
Revelations describes
you know?
him as the son
Leave
of
the
Satan, who
fucking
will return and
rubber.
be present to receive
Where
his
was
powers
it on the
and challenge
playground?
Jesus Christ during
Like in the
his second
field where we
coming.
played soccer in the morning.
Oh, okay. So it was more near like
The
the park.
Baphomet.
Yeah, but
Described as a
still,
deity
that's
in the
like-
form of a goat-headed god.
You see
It
people
was
fucking in
close,
the park, but it's
The
but that's
breasts of
still
a
like on
female
the playground.
and carrying
though,
a
like-
torch between
Yeah,
his
It's not. It's not like it got up and walked.
black magic. Magic that is used
Yeah,
for
it's not like the,
destruction.
it's not like the rubber grew legs, dude.
Black Mass, the most diabolical ritual that can be performed by a Satanist. It entails a blasphemous communion with Satan, desecration of artifacts of Christianity, a mockery of the Holy Bible, and all things that Christians religiously cherish. The ceremonies involve rape and sexual assault, sodomy, animal and human sacrifices, and often the slaughter of unbaptized infants.
How do they know they're unbaptized?
Yeah, that's kind of
Blood.
weird.
Just go to a Jewish
The life
neighborhood.
force.
Yeah.
Satanists believe that the drinking of another person's blood or that of an animal increases their power and provides life force directly to
Preferably a human.
Yeah, are you sure you're not talking about Jews
The
with
circle.
the blood drinking?
Satan. The circle is the Satanists' protection from the forces they conjure up during their summoning and incantations.
It is weird that this is like such
Coven.
a thing.
A group of non-traditional Satanists.
I mean, it's not
are
like it's, like,
normally
not-
exceeding 13.
There's no
Traditional
truth to it,
Satanists
but
do not.
Well, it's like
have
almost
that.
like they were trying to cover up for their actual.
it's just
A
weird.
group of
misdeeds.
people who follow a leader who, through his charismatic
Because there's
way,
nuggets of
command
truth in here.
allegiance,
you know?
belief, and
Yeah,
worship.
and like,
Infamous leaders
It's just-
include
but it's
Hitler,
like clouded with all this
Jim
shit, so it's
Jones,
like on
and
purpose.
David Koresh.
Like if we were
And
like
then
if
they had
like back then,
Moose
like
and
if we
Goat.
were back then, like who we are. I mean, at
Devil.
least I can't speak for
One
Doom,
such
but like
name of
I know
Satan,
Prophet pretty
Lucifer,
well. Like,
Leviathan,
we would have been like just
Prince of
laughing at it.
Darkness.
I mean, I guess we're laughing at it now, but
Goat's Head.
Well, yeah, I
would
mean,
have all
it's-
just
I'd
said
still
like
laugh
it's
at
like
it,
all
but yeah, no,
ridiculous. You know?
yeah, that there's no such
Grotto.
thing, that none of
Right,
this is
like-
real.
This
That, yeah.
Satanists in one order
And then we
or
find out that
organization.
no, most of our inner elite are
Hand of
worshiping
glory.
something like this
The
shit
left hand of a person who has
and living.
died. The hand is removed from the body.
What is
pickled,
this?
Embalmed and
Pickled?
mummified.
The hand
It
of
is then used
glory?
to ward off evil spirits.
What?
Pickled.
The head.
What is
Satanists
this?
believe that the head
Pickled
is the most
hands.
important part of the body. They often
Holy
eat
Yeah,
the
so like
brain
this
to
is just
receive
that you
powers
have just
of the
silly
deceased
stuff
person.
like this.
The heart.
Yeah.
Satanists believe it to be the center of
Whatever.
life.
What about the,
It's fun.
the
It's
head of
fun.
Saint
Heart. They
Germain?
believe
Dude?
that assumption of the deceased's characteristics and powers.
To be fair,
will
the
be
Christians
thus
do keep
transferred.
the head of Saint Germain, the guy who slayed the dragon or whatever the fuck.
Host. Normally using blessed communion wafers, symbolic of the body of Christ, Satanists insert them into the vagina of the altar or physically stomp, thus desecrating Christian beliefs.
What is that fucking...
Lucifer.
What do you mean
When
Koresh
cast out
was
of
banning
heaven,
all
he
the
was followed
chicks
by
from his
1/3
church?
of all the angels. Pagans.
Like, I think he's
Those who
like
practice
banning,
witchcraft,
trying to make it polygamy.
the worship
basically.
of nature, as well as
Oh,
multiple gods.
but I think they could only sleep with him.
Satan,
Yeah, something like that.
Most of the
angels
male members
created
didn't
by
seem to have a
God,
problem with
cast
that.
out of heaven, and now the object
I mean,
of
when they're
worship by
brainwashed.
Satanists
Yeah.
throughout the world.
There's probably some weird cults like that going on now with all these
A
beta
female
cock
demonic
people.
force that copulates with human males.
Soy cults.
Yeah,
Incubus,
these soy cults.
a male demonic force that copulates with human females. And witchcraft, the practice of the old religion which focuses on the goddess
The
in her
old
many forms.
ways.
Perhaps one of the most despicable crimes in general, and in particular
There's
among
children
Satanists,
playing basketball.
is that involving a child.
Oh.
In every state in the nation, there are reports and investigations of satanic crime and satanic ritual abuse.
Oh, that's
More than
that's
2
yucky.
million American
BBC.
children each year are reported missing, many of them too young
But it's
to be
also
runaways.
true.
In addition,
I love you, Joker.
5,000
I think
unidentified
he's got a thing
bodies
for
of
like
children are
disabled
found
older women.
annually in the United States.
It's Crypto Nick now.
Physical abuse.
Yeah,
is
it's
a
Crypto
part
Nick
of
now.
keeping me
Guys, it's
silent.
Crypto Nick now.
My fingers were burned on a stove.
Even if Dirk
I was forced to watch
ritual
Yes.
abuse survivor and got a fucked up haircut.
killed and put in an oven, and I was
Got a
told that
fucked
if I
up
talked,
hairline.
the same thing would
Hairline.
happen to me.
Her
They would dismember bodies.
I don't know if it's a coin
and hang me
tasered.
upside
It's
down
clear
over
crypto.
Yeah, it's clear crypto. What is
But
there
it's
to
not
to
clear what it
understand?
is.
I'm not sure, but
I don't
there
know
were
what it is.
body parts. And they told me
What's
they
so
would
difficult
lower
to
me
understand?
into the
Everything.
Buy it. Put it in your wallet.
acid if I ever talked about this.
Look at
Back your
that.
bag.
And one memory I had, in order to get the
Joker's
blood,
mom
they
explained what
used
clear
me as
crypto
the
is.
person to get the blood from.
Just buy it and make money.
Basically, the lamb, the child of God. And they would put pins and needles in between my fingers, and I would be bled so that they could have communion.
What's the
Another way
mark
to keep
near
me
her
silent
vagina
was
that
to
looks like
use
a
a
vagina?
gun. Pornography, child prostitution brings in big money, and I was not to talk about
Yeah,
that,
that was
either.
good.
And I was threatened to
Get
be
raped.
killed if I talked.
Stop,
That's
stop,
right.
stop, stop, stop.
So out of nowhere.
They use cigarettes and other forms of
Joker's
burning
mom was big into Halo too.
to keep me silent. And I had a pet bird that they killed in front of me.
How much do you? I bet
And,
Joker threatened
and I was
to
put in a cage.
not let his mom
So
see
as a
his
young
son after
child,
that.
I made the
You probably
association
screamed at her
that if
pretty
I were in a
loud.
cage,
Screamed at her
Yeah.
real loud.
then I must be like the
Yeah.
bird. And if they can kill the bird, they can easily
Shook the
kill
house.
me too. Remembering comes out in poetry as well. And
Goes
my
down
pet
in the basement,
bird
puts
was
his vest
killed
and
front of
sunglasses
me.
on.
And I was also forced to participate
He was playing the
in
gayest
murder of
music, too.
babies.
Like he has
And
the
so
worst
I-
taste in music.
Wrote a poem about not being able to talk about that.
Is it the song that he plays?
Yes.
Birds and
Who's
babies
laughing
go
now?
away.
Yeah.
Mustn't tell.
Yes.
Mustn't say.
No, dude, I don't
Why
know.
would
That's
you
just
get
the
mad at
song
me?
he plays whenever he
Must
wins.
pretend I do not
Yeah, that's
see.
his winning song. It's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Nothing happened. Don't remember. Helter skelter. Now
Skeletor.
dismember. Witches chant and babies burn. Mustn't talk. It will be my turn.
Do better.
Symptoms characterizing satanic ritual abuse and sexual abuse in preschool-aged children. Low self-esteem, feeling of being bad. Child feels deserving of punishment. Child is fearful, clingy, regresses to baby behavior.
Jesus Christ.
Separation anxiety.
Getting pretty uncomfy.
The child is angry and aggressive. The child acts wild, uncontrolled, hyperactive.
Hyperactive.
The child smears poop on the wall.
The child is accident.
Did that happen at the high school?
deliberately
Oh yeah,
hurts
it
himself.
happened. That's a thing.
The child is negativistic.
Yeah, it's a
resistant
common
to
trope.
Authority.
Yeah, my wife was telling me. I forget what it is.
The child mistrusts adults.
When she knew, or like their kid or something. I don't know.
The child is
Oh, Jesus.
over-compliant
What do you
with
do
authority,
at that point?
over-pleasing with
Call a
adults.
priest.
The child
Tell
has
people so they
rapid
can
mood
tell their
changes.
husbands and they can get an
And
analogy.
they can
Child is withdrawn,
tell a
does
show
not
with
play
25
or
people
plays
watching,
in a
20 people
lethargic
watching.
or unfocused
I know.
way.
I like that.
The child exhibits a short attention span. The child does not learn.
That's a good point, Taser. I forgot that this video is for law enforcement.
The child's speech is regressed and babyish. He
for
has
law
delayed
enforcement.
speech or speech disorder.
I don't.
The child's speech production decreases significantly.
They basically
There are
become
somatic
retarded.
complaints, stomach aches, nausea and vomiting, nightmares, and sleep disorders. The child is fearful of being touched, fears having genital area
Seizure
warmth.
warning. Yeah, having fun with that one.
The
dude.
child touches his genitals or masturbates excessively. The
What?
child touches or tries to insert fingers into his rectum. The
Come
child
on.
pulls down his pants, pulls up her dress, or takes off clothes inappropriately. The child touches others sexually or asks for sex. The child is sexually provocative or seductive. He or she complains of vaginal, anal pain, burning when washed.
I think, you
or
know,
when
you don't have to
urinating or
get this
defecating.
detailed, but you say
Yeah, like, we
child might
get
be
it.
sexually abused. It's like, oh, you just, okay, you know what to look out for.
Like, we
Semen or
get
blood
it.
stains are found on the
oh
child's
my
underwear.
god.
Holy shit.
Detailed and age-inappropriate understanding of sexual
This is
behavior.
much. This is too
Like, what the fuck? Like, we get you.
Hints about
No,
sexual
it's
activity.
fine.
The child complains that an adult or older child is bothering them. A reference to blood or white stuff in genital area. A statement that
This is
someone had
crazy.
removed the child's
This is-
for the cops.
a statement that an older
This is
child
nuts.
or adult
Oh, Pickles is
exposed
live.
themselves to the child.
I gotta fucking record another one of these fucking
I'll
things.
cut,
A child's statement that he or
Well, I
she
gotta record
touched
them
an
and put them
older
on
child
fucking
or
and
adult's
upload
body,
them to the
vagina,
archive channel so they're
rectum,
all up there.
mouth,
This is
etc.
episode 7 and 8 now with Truth Shocker season 2. I figure season 2 will
A
end when
statement that an
Rocco
older
flips out
child
and
or
ends the
adult
show again,
touched
and then
or
we'll start
penetrated
season
the
3.
child's
She's
bottom,
still streaming when
vagina,
this is over.
rectum,
We'll head over
mouth,
there for a
etc.
minute. Hopefully they're not listening
know
to something.
she's
to do
going
with
to
Statement that
Instagram.
the
be.
child witnessed sex
Well, no, I
acts.
mean, like,
Unless-
hopefully we can interact with them because we weren't able
Oh
to.
yeah, unless there's technical problems.
On medical
ruined-
yeah,
examination,
they ruined the
she
stream.
looks.
relaxed sphincter control,
She's-
anal or rectal lacerations or
Dude, I
scarring.
love that they go
The
live
child
so late because
relaxes rather
Rocco
than
is.
tenses rectum.
So
when-
we're
Oh, that's
streaming
right. Rocco has a new light, dude, that changes color. So it's red, green,
on
and
medical
blue.
examination,
Yeah,
enlargement
like
of
that emo.
vaginal opening, vaginal laceration,
And
or
it's, like,
scarring in
flashing.
girls, sore penis in boys, blood or trauma. in the
Okay,
genital area.
okay. Sore
How,
penis.
a cop's
okay.
not a cop's not going to be like he's going to
On
get a
medical
report.
exam, venereal disease.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
law
this is for a
enforcement isn't going to be
doctor.
on the lookout for these things.
Yeah, this is what a doctor should look for. Holy shit.
Oh,
This
no!
goes on
Don't
through the
don't
rest of
apologize for that.
Unfortunately,
Big Black
all
Hawk.
of
That's
the
funny.
signs of self-involvement,
If you had told me that was you
rebellion against authority,
beforehand, I would have let it through.
Disrespect towards parents, they're common.
I just
in the
I gotta
growing up
have them
years.
trust me as a
There are also
Janny.
signs of involvement in
To
satanic
do your duties,
cults.
yeah.
Perhaps one of the major signs
Do it
of
for
cult
free.
involvement is when the
Joker
group moves
Janny
into
And
a
I might- I mean,
that
that's the thing,
case,
I might
they
as-
get it
on
for
one
free.
idea,
It's
might-
applied for free.
one type of
I might as well
clothing. They
let the
center
goat fucking
focus
comment
on
go
this
through
idea,
because
and they do not
They
deviate.
didn't like Pickles was like
focus on
how like she
destruction
didn't.
and
It's like you made me a
undoing.
mod,
They
idiot.
have
Like she
many
like was
highs and
perplexed
many
as to like
lows
how
in
I
their
was able to
self-esteem.
like block it.
They have drastic changes
Dude, how'd
in
you-
behavior
so
like eating habits, cleanliness, punctuality, and attitude towards family and friends.
Most of the people we deal with, the young adults that we deal with,
Kelly
have other
McGee.
problems that
This guy is a probation
officer,
with even sometimes gang activity.
Yeah.
They're looking for
AIDS survivor or
things
sufferer.
that they may not have at home. They're looking for self-esteem. They're looking for something that they can belong to. And a lot of times these kids start out
sort of sigil
innocently enough trying to get into something that they feel that they're wanted. And
he's got the
people
swirly
will,
things.
Form them and make
That's
their
just the
opinions
aesthetic of the times,
to the
right?
point where
Let's
they're
hope.
really involved in satanic activity. Anytime you do have a situation where you find
Let's
a ritual
hope.
site or you
That is a
find
funky looking
graffiti
collar, dude.
that shows some
That
kind of
is
satanic
funky.
situation, then you need to look at it and investigate it. And I think the big thing is if you keep your mind open. Parents need to keep an open mind. A lot of times parents and
Yeah, of
people
course
in
this guy
general
wants
will-
people
will
to keep an
close
open
their eyes
mind.
to things that
I'm
they
not
don't wanna
falling
hear.
for it.
If you
I'm done
if
with
you
the
keep an
open mind.
Yeah, I'm
and,
done. I've done it.
Try to know your
I'm
kids
done.
and learn
I'm done
what
having
the
an
kids are all
open
about.
mind on these facts.
I think
Yeah,
that's
guys,
I'm
be a
done
big
having an
step
open
into
mind with these when it
understanding
comes to these
what's
facts.
going on, and then being able to
I'm
identify any
tired of
problems that may
faggots.
arise or situations that you might see that you might need to look for help and not keep a closed mind.
Done with
Believe me,
homos.
I've been in this business for
No, first
10
they
years,
said
and
accept the gays,
you're
and now they're
always,
saying accept the trans.
amazed at what kids will do and the different fads that come up. And sometimes it may be totally innocent. It may not
It's
be
slaw
occult activity,
time.
it may
I
not
don't
be
remember. I
satanic
don't remember what
activity.
that was in reference
But hopefully, if you have the open mind, you'll be able
to.
to
I'll probably be eating
notice that.
coleslaw.
When we get involved in
I
some
hate
of these
coleslaw.
training
Go to hell.
groups, we try to
I
talk
hate
to
it so much.
PTAs
Go to
and
hell.
school administrators and
There's a
things
lot
like
of
that.
bad coleslaw out there.
Not only
Coleslaw is
I will
just in,
never eat
occult
any
activity,
even good coleslaw.
but
People that put
just keeping
coleslaw
an
on
open
pulled
mind
pork,
on what teenagers are all
you just
about
ruined a
nowadays.
sandwich.
No, you made it
They
like
may be involved in this
1,000
stuff. They may
times
be what we call
better.
dabbling in some kind of
Get out of
occult
your mind.
activity. It may be just a rebellion on
So good.
some form of Christian
Can't
upbringing,
eat that.
something to get your attention.
As you observe kids that may be
Not a
involved in
slawman.
satanic cult activities, be patient, be watchful. It's best to understand them because provoking
I'm
them
going to
will only
upload
drive
the
them
clip
deeper
of us
into the
watching
cult and
Pickles
that
Raw
behavior.
last weekend. We watched them live
Teach
because
the
Rocco's
parents
just like
and the
nodding
school
off.
officials
Yeah.
and the youth workers to note these behavior changes and to take time to find out what's going on in
No,
their
slaw.
lives.
No, get rid of slaw.
Teach them to ask the meaningful questions and what the symbols are about that they might write on their notebooks and they might
Can't get
wear on
hungry
their
after
clothes.
like 11 o'clock because
Teach
everything's
these
fucking
youth workers
closed.
and parents to talk to their
It'd
kids
be funny if
about
they
the lyrics
DoorDash.
of the songs
They have
that
changed it, but if
listen
they
to over
change
and
this
over
guy's
again.
sweater in every shot,
They have a right to know what's
like
going
even when they do
on.
a,
in
even when they do a
young people's
close up, it's
lives,
like a
and-
different shirt and
Open
sweatshirt.
communication allows that to happen. Don't hesitate to encourage these parents and youth workers
Yeah,
to
McDonald's
seek
closes in
outside
29
help.
minutes. That's
Call
so
your
gay.
local support services for youth. They can be a great help to you. Never stop this
thought
Things used to be open
investigation
later, I
of
think.
their
Yeah,
lives.
The
Literally,
McDonald's
if I
there
want-
is
if I-
24/7.
Dude, if I want to order
Satanists celebrate a host
DoorDash,
of
here's my
rituals
options
Oh, a
right now.
DoorDash,
at
okay, yeah.
57. Subway,
Some are held
McDonald's,
more important than others.
Applebee's,
A host of
Walgreens,
crimes are committed
CVS.
before,
Wow.
during, and after the
I mean,
ceremony.
that's where you live, though. It's not.
No, there's 30 items on there. Why does everything close at 11,
On
dude?
January 7th, the celebration
It's
of
not
St.
as many
Cornballs
people
is held.
working.
It is a blood ritual and animal
what I
or
mean?
human sacrifice,
Smaller-
including
People
smaller
sexual
city.
hungry,
delivery.
dude.
And they're
I just
completed
get-
with males
oh, no,
between
I'm
the
kidding.
ages of 15 and 33 years of age.
Just
Or
ask,
fucking-
ask your girlfriend really nicely to go on a clown run.
Satanic revels
No,
are
you
held
know what's
on
you know what's
January
back
17th.
open?
A sexual
What?
type of ritual,
With
anal,
delivery is
oral, and vaginal
fucking
activities are found with
slopping
female
those, dude.
victims ranging from
Slopping
7 to
those.
17 years of age.
I know. Mr. Blue said that the other day. He's like, "Oh, I can't
He was
wait.
so
I can't wait for
excited, and then,
Domino's
like,
to come back."
no.
I'm like, "No, dude, Domino's."
Candlemas.
You,
A high
there's like
religious
so much
holiday
better
is held
pizza
on
in your
February
town. Like
2nd.
you're excited for
At
Domino's.
these sexual ceremonies, animal, oral, and
Domino's
vaginal
is so
rituals are
bad, but at the
completed
same
with
time.
females
And
from
they got rid of
age
everything
1
good.
to 17.
I can't get the bowl. Like I can't get the chicken Alfredo bowl anymore. That was the best.
February 25th signals Beltane, a blood ceremony.
That was my slop right there.
Communions are held with blood filling
Eat the
chalice.
bowl after. Yeah, they
Animal
know how. They
dismemberment
know how I
and
like my
sacrifices
slop.
are common to this ceremony. The celebration of St. Icatat is held on March 1st. During the blood ceremony, human blood from devotees of any age and
This
any
is
sex
interesting. I never knew they
consumed
had
for
like
strength
their own
and
holidays.
as homage to demons.
This could probably be made up too.
I mean, yeah, probably. But even if it's not, it's like, doesn't that like?
I already guessed.
It's like just be
The
religious
spring
if you're gonna have
equinox,
like.
March 20th.
Yeah, if you're gonna
A
do all
celebration
this
of
shit,
orgies,
like go
including
through all
anal,
this shit, just be
oral,
normal.
vaginal,
Like, quit
or
being an edgy
bestiality
faggot.
sex between devotees of any age and
Yeah,
any
that's
sex.
like borderline
Sacrifices
pedophile.
are common.
Orthodox. If you trade your
April
niggers and love them
21st
and build
to
a
the 26th
relationship, the
is the time of
master-slave
preparation
relationship
for
makes
the
your
grand
nigger way
climax.
stronger.
Kidnappings of women, children, and animals are common.
Odd quote. To
Thus,
be
the
honest.
victims are held until
Little.
April 26th to May 1st.
I want to play the game he's
A
playing.
demure
Like,
ceremony for
Oddworld or something.
Corpus de Ball. Age group includes infants and females up to 25 years of age. April 30th, called May
Nice.
Eve,
Get some
or
pan flute in there.
Walpurgis Night, signals a host
I
of
love pan
activities
flute,
and
especially when our
historically
bells
is
Yeah, I knew you were.
common.
Yeah.
Dude, Montezuma by Cusco. Montezuma by Cusco. That shit rocks.
June 2nd brings about
That sounds like a good book
anti-Christian
boring stream.
ceremonies using blessed wafers and blood mixtures.
Cusco's
for
got a few
many
bangers.
blasphemous
Inca
purposes.
Dance, Montezuma, and Ghost Dance. Art used to play those
June
three.
21st and 22nd signal the summer solstice, when orgies,
Bangers.
anal, oral, and vaginal in nature take place.
Okay.
Any age, any sex.
Okay. Anything goes on the 21st of
rebels
June.
I've
are
never
held
understood
on
why
July 1st.
oral and anal are
Sex
like
with demons.
were back in the day
Human and
considered to be
animals,
on like the
primarily
same
large
level.
dogs, take place with devotees of any
Yeah.
age or any sex.
Nothing wrong with getting some neck, dude.
Some throat.
Some top.
Yeah.
July 20th.
Ain't
through
nothing
the
with getting
27th
some top as long
signals
as there
the
ain't no
time for
rubber
additional
involved.
kidnappings and holdings
Yeah,
of
once the
victims
man
for
started
July
adding rubbers to the
26th
equation,
grand
top
climax
got ruined.
and August Eve festivities, which include sacrifices.
Yeah, rubbers ruined top.
Satanic revels occur on August 3rd, with its sexual orgies
Dude, there's,
with
like,
females from
way
7
more
to
holidays
17 years of age.
Than we saw.
Yeah, and
like
none of
Jesus
these-
Christ, this has been
none of
going
these
on for like
people are doing
5
it.
minutes.
The
It's like an
coveted
educational
marriage to
video
Satan
for the
takes
cops.
place on September 7th, at which time human
Cops don't need to know all
sacrifices
this
of
shit.
groomed devotees
No,
occur.
who cares?
they're
The
not
age group
because that's
is
part,
female.
you know,
1 to 17
part of
years of
the
age.
Mason group.
September 20th is the time of the Midnight Host, a
This is
blood
like the fifth
ceremony
one in
when
September.
dismemberment of females 1 to 21 years of age takes place. Hands are planted as part of the ceremony.
Hands.
Huh?
September
are planted?
22nd, or Michaelmas, entails anal, oral, and
No, no, no.
vaginal orgies that
Hams.
also include
There's-
bestiality.
there's
with any
3 more
age
months
or
to go
sex
through.
devotees.
Is the next one gonna be September?
October 29th
Oh, is that
to the 31st.
There's
Samhain,
nothing for a
or
month.
Halloween
Packed a
celebration
lot in this.
is a high unholy day.
Halloween.
That's
Sex
right.
with demons is primary. As
Yeah, see
is
fake
infant
Kittler,
sacrifice.
Sam Hain. Fucking retard.
No, sanguine.
On November
right? Isn't
1st
that what
to
it
the
was?
4th, satanic revels again occur.
They're wrong.
Anal, oral, and vaginal sexual activities
More
take
anal
place
and
with
oral on
females
Halloween.
7 to 17 years of age.
Why are the ages important? What has happened? Is it like gematria sex magic stuff? Like with numbers and ages?
And December 22nd, or the winter solstice, entails orgies with any age and any sex. And on December 24th, Demon Revels is a demure ceremony and a signaling of the high grand climax. Any age and any sex is included in these ceremonies.
Did it? Oh, nice. We're getting into some.
Satanic
Richard
homicide?
Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, was linked to Satanism.
Yeah.
He had a pentagram
He was
on
an
his
edgy
right
sp-
hand.
he was an
would
edgy
draw
spick.
one on the walls of
Yeah,
his
that
victim's
wasn't-
home.
He's an
Real,
edgelord
right?
At
spick.
his arraignment, he yelled,
No, it
Yeah, that
was.
just some.
Satan.
No, I know, but he was just like.
No, yeah, he was just an
wasn't
edgy. Yeah, he was just an edgy fucking weirdo.
It's like the San
He was
Bernardino people saying they were pledged to ISIS.
Richard
It's like,
Satan,
okay. there's just
also
some
known as the Son of
blacks in the
Sam,
apartment.
that famous New York case. Henry Lee Lucas of Texas. Both of these men were linked to Satanism and ritualistic blood drinking.
Okay.
They have AIDS.
Stanley Dean Baker of Massachusetts. At
Oh,
the
yeah.
time of his arrest,
He's
he
going
had
to
one
hell.
of his victim's fingers in his pocket, and he was charged with dismemberment. He stabbed
had
his
their
victim
fingers in his pocket? Well, that's
27
kind of funny.
times, and he ate his heart.
That's a weird thing.
What a quirky guy.
He goes to shake the officer's hand, but it's his victim's severed
Ricky
hand.
Passo of
The
New York.
officer just gives him a
He
handful of
required his
hands.
victim to say, "I
Fingers are-
love you,
Yeah.
Satan," as he
Yeah.
stabbed him to death.
I can't give you a hand, but maybe a finger, and he like drops them all out of his hand onto the officer. He's like some fucking comedian
Carl
guy.
Drew from Massachusetts. His satanic cult killed a 20-year-old woman.
Another mass.
Why are these all
Decapitated
from
her.
Mass?
They kicked her head around, and then later
I'm not
he had
surprised.
sex with her body.
Have some fingers.
And in the history of the United States, only one case has been successfully prosecuted as a human sacrifice crime. That is the case of Clifford St. Joseph.
Okay, the way we broke the St. Joseph case was through information received through some sharp patrol
Prentice?
officer work. A couple of our patrol units that
Prentice?
operated in what we call our Southern District
Yeah.
responded to what was a drunken party.
Prentice E.
It appeared to be a drunken
Prentice
party.
Sanders.
And one of the fellows kept saying, they're going to sacrifice him, they're going to sacrifice him. Well, what he was talking about was they had
maybe
gotten a
boring
second
stream.
victim and intended
I've never
to
heard of the guy.
sacrifice him. They had him captured for several days and had drugged him, and he had been drugged, and a lot of had been continual sexual activity, male on male sexual activity with him as he was chained nude in the bedroom and then sometime he'd be chained to the fireplace in the living room, and every guest would come, he would be offered to have sex with him. And even at some point, they had a German Shepherd.
Ew.
And it was beyond what would be seen in a normal encounter of gay male anal sex. So we followed up on that, and we were able to find that young man after we talked to the fellow who was babbling earlier about this sacrifice. So we talked to that young man, and he told a very bizarre story. The story was that this man had been captured. The first victim,
They could have gotten a
was
white
60,
guy to
had been
tell this,
captured.
and we would have been done with it a minute ago.
And he had been sacrificed to Satan in honor of St. Joseph. And that St. Joseph was the high priest. And that
Like when we were watching that
talked of other
the Coolio
sacrifices,
video
but
the other
we
night.
found no evidence.
Black
of any
people are very
bodies
good
being
at like
once
saying nothing
sacrificed in this
for
area,
long stretches of
previously, at
time.
least the one that
They're
we
really
corrected.
gifted at it.
So he then told us that he had how they had disposed of the bloody mattress, and that they had done the initial ceremony in a circle on the living room floor. And of course, we noticed that when we finally went to that address with a search warrant, we noticed there was all new carpeting, all new mattresses in the bedroom. So, and what the officers noticed is there were so many things that were
Just
so
get to
bizarre
the
that this
fucking
point.
Aw, come on.
Make up a lie. This
Oh,
big,
hey.
couldn't get that drunk. Or get
Whoa, that was a
loaded
penis?
to make. So
I
we
looked up
started
like
to
last
fall
second. I was like
into
looking down
place.
for a second, I looked back.
Everything started to make sense.
What the fuck?
And I can tell you that our
What the fuck?
investigation of that case led us into the very highest echelons of our society, professional people,
For the officers.
successful business people who were associates.
It's what you got to look
and
at if you're a
some,
cop.
One of whom we know is unindicted co-conspirator to this day, because the young man who had been sexually abused, who was to be the second victim, we got him psychiatric treatment. and got him strong enough to be able to testify. And he testified to all the things.
We got him to testify. He committed suicide shortly thereafter, but we got him to testify.
To where he was to be sacrificed himself. And it is a very precise procedure.
He testified for us.
What he is given to drink.
He was testifying.
He's kept in a sedated mood, condition for several days prior to the ritual.
Holy fuck.
We were able to prosecute St. Joseph by using evidence, physical evidence, because he was clever enough not to.
Trying to fucking dab on us.
Give us a statement.
Dabber stick.
At least the statement he gave us was
cinnamon cookie.
He was very clever in what he said and how he said it. But one of the things we were able to do is corroborate the two young men. And with physical evidence.
He's been
one, for example,
going at this statement for about 5 minutes. What the fuck? That's a neck wound?
Physical evidence.
Check on the premises.
All right, I don't want to. This guy's just showing gore.
We did the luminol examination of the premises. We found the kind of blood that we expected to find. Because as I told you, the body was almost devoid of blood. And we knew that wherever this had taken place, there had to be a lot of blood. So in the cracks and crevices of the
when you stab somebody in the throat or the neck like that, there's going to be a lot of blood.
There were small blood spatterings on the walls.
That's like makes it kosher or some shit. Halal.
Despite the fact of a thorough cleaning.
Yeah, they had to make the body halal before they could eat it or whatever. They had to drain the blood, exsanguinate or whatever.
They deliberately picked and carefully picked the John Doe 60 and the young man who was to be the second victim. And we were told that this is the habit. Nobody's going to ever look for these people. They're the kinds of people, and there are lots of them around nowadays, where people drifters, people don't have any real ties, and they were able to lure both the John Doe 60 and the other intended victim.
Get to the point.
A great many.
So this was Satanist?
If it's on the tape,
like a random guy killing drifters.
It sounds like a serial killer or something.
Yeah, it sounds like a serial killer killing drifters.
Areas, and
then he put a pentagram on the ground.
Suitable characters.
Maybe he's just really into Wicca.
What was the
he's in the Godsmack.
Joseph, and how was that?
He might just be a Godsmack head.
Or Joseph's sentence was he was convicted of first-degree murder.
He's trying to think up a design for a heartogram type thing that he can sell. Maybe that's the creator of the heartogram.
Or for a skateboarder to get a million tattoos on his body.
So it was a successful prosecution. Good, solid evidence.
I've got 13 heartogram tattoos.
Actually, to solve that case with some patrol officers being really sharp and following through on something that they saw that was unusual, and not discounting a person as being just a crazy drunk.
This guy's taking up like a third of this video.
They took the time to say, "Hey, wait a minute! It's too many things."
Just talking about nothing.
Here. Let's if we don't know, let us call somebody who may know, and then by doing that, they gave us the lead that we needed to break that case. On ritualistic, satanic, cult kinds of crimes, you'll see a lot of unexplained behavior. Try not to rationalize it off as being just a bunch of just a bunch of druggies.
I don't know what your opinion of it is, but the Kiwi Farms is back.
Identify people who are there.
I was thinking about asking Joker what he would like his thread to be called. Hex really, Joker, Joker Review.
They're very like gay. Like you gotta do like a really good OP.
Look for unusual.
Okay, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say BBC seems to have, because that's like a big deal there. You gotta have a good OP post if you're going to start a thread.
Wounds. And for example, a single wound, none of the wounds when you looked at the body.
I don't know, it might be up your alley.
Just as a layperson.
Somebody's going to eventually, because he is just
the pentagram
going through community after community, just making it.
Yeah, it's back, it's back, it's on its...
The fact that you have a dead body
it's .net
and there's no...
domain.
there's no blood. There's some blood
good night,
on
friend.
the body, but
Thank you for watching.
There's no blood in and around.
We will be back
scene.
tomorrow night.
Secondary scenes, because they've got to get rid of it.
For more comfy.
They got to get rid of it somehow. So we have to be
Day
very
two.
aware of anything unusual. Follow through on it. Call in.
And then probably not again until Wednesday.
Don't be embarrassed to say, "Hey, look,
I
I
got
don't quite know what's
ton of
going
work I
on
got to get
here."
done.
Call in the detectives, and they in turn, for investigators, call in experts who know how to deal, who recognize some of these things. But one of the things you will see quite frequently, though, they do leave their mark. For example, the upside down pentagram on John Doe 60's chest.
Oh yeah, Bargain Stream, you weren't here earlier. I found a dead owl earlier.
Where we're dealing with
in the
the
day.
ritualistic and the Golden
Might have
Gate
been Satanism.
This case was never
There's probably a
solved.
pretty good
The
chance if
gentleman
there's
was in
like
the
an
middle of
it's an
circle,
owl.
and all
I don't know why
around
they
there
just
were
dumped it on the
pentagrams
side of the
painted
road
on the
though.
trees,
But
with her blood and painted on rocks. They
You need to check her out for any spray painted sigils.
Ways. If the body appears to have some ornamentation on it that doesn't fit, for example, maybe some beads or some kind of pin or pendant that doesn't fit the rest of their clothing. There was a case
7 points
several years ago where the body was found, and this would be a different ritualistic group. For example, the body was in a circle, the head was decapitated, there were feathers sticking in the exposed.
I get why they're
neck.
ending it on this
All around
segment, but
the body.
what a
was
downer to end it on, man. The whole tape so far was
kernels
pretty
of
wild.
corn.
It just got wild, and then they just ended on this
we later
dud.
learned that this was a part.
There's only
of
8 minutes left
of a sanctifying of a cauldron by killing an individual, by sacrificing an individual. Though, by the way, the head did turn up. We were told by experts that it would turn up. Now, this came out of a whole different part of the society, but it's still a different kind
Experts,
of ritual.
people who are involved with it,
Times,
the highest
there's
levels of the government.
controversy in some parts of the country now as to whether or not to allow the religious use of
They'll let
animals.
them know
I
what
think the Santerias did win that case, that they can use animals in their religion. Well, you'll see things like this. Don't be alarmed. Just document it well.
Yeah, he
Document
seems
it
like a
very
safe
well,
Negro that you would
know who's involved
out there.
and recognize
you put
it
him
when
out
you see
in the
it.
face of something.
And probably the grave
Black
robbing is
History
what
Month or
most
something.
patrol officers going to run. They're going to run into grave robbing.
Give a speech on Black
stealing
History.
ornaments from churches. You start getting a rash of stealing because they have to have. Sometimes they want to
He
get.
deleted
even
it.
though they're
I'm
satanic,
telling you, man,
they have
he's
to get something
like
that's blessed. So they'll go.
I think
church
you're
you start getting a series
getting
of
under his
church
skin way
robberies.
more than
Any
we
church
ever
robbery
did.
where the motive is
It's awesome. Though.
not
and I think it's
totally
like
monetary gain. It's some kind
I don't know.
relics are
It's
missing, like
fucking really
chalices and different religious.
The videos
ceremony,
are much more
items.
digestible
Look for
than
that.
ours.
yeah.
So they're reaching.
Other things I can think of now is
They're
that
very
they,
shareable.
Also deal with certain animal.
I think they're being passed around.
forms
like
and
obviously the
parts
hex
and stuff
community's
like
in
that.
on it now. I
Certain-
noticed them.
Certain
is great
statuaries
because-
that you'll find on a premises.
Things are only going to get
and
better. I love it.
The
He thought he was
bodies
just
that
the
appear
biggest
to be
big shot.
part goat, part human.
I mean, he had to know he
all
wasn't.
in
you know.
a man, part man in body, and you'll see lots of candles. They use lots of candles of different colors and stuff like that. But there are a number of experts around who study this phenomenon, and as I said, based on my experience and studying, particularly with the St. Joseph case and a couple other cases that have had some dabblers around.
Dabbers.
Capture that material, read it, learn about them. It's just like any other part
they
of
just dabble.
our society. It's here, and we as law enforcement officers will deal with it. We have to deal with it, and the best way to deal with any problem is to understand it.
In investigating homicides,
I was
there
gonna
are
say,
some
all right, there's
very
not
obvious
room for a
ritualistic
ninth point on
markings
that.
will appear on a body that is
Bulletin
the
there.
result of satanic killings. But
Now
some
that's
of
a
the
shirt.
markings are
Look at
a
that
little
with
more
the
subtle.
fucking column.
And so what we're going to do is give you an
Yeah, that's pretty
illustration
sweet.
of this on
Very
model
very
and
vaporwave.
also retrace some of the markings that were in the St. Joseph's case.
Yeah, he's
You'll
gonna
note on our
janny
model
that up.
Look at the bikini.
Oh Jesus!
That there's
Checkerboard. Yeah.
oftentimes a cut
That's
that
weird.
goes from behind the ear all the way down
I don't know. That's
to
weird.
the throat.
A little bit.
You'll
That is a
also
little
notice
weird.
that on the
Yeah,
carotid,
yeah, that's
this
Freemason.
Right here would be
That's
cut
Yeah.
where the
That's
blood
what
would have
the
been
person yesterday
drained.
was talking about. You got
And
the two towers,
oftentimes
Boaz,
there's
and
wax
whatever the
laid
other
on
shit
it
is.
Oh,
to
the
cover
tower.
it
I
up
didn't notice the
afterwards,
tower.
after the
Yeah.
body,
Joachim and Boaz.
has,
It is. Yeah, there is the
deceased.
towers. What the fuck is going on here?
They will also put
Why are the
wax
pillars
over
there?
the eyelids.
Oh, it's
after
for the
they're
officers,
deceased.
man.
And so those
fan
would be
service.
some of the head markings
Yeah, in
that
the
would
Fraternal
indicate
Order,
a
most of them are
ritualistic
Masons.
killing. Another area that's obvious in these kinds of ritualistic carvings would be the pentagram or the inverted pentagram on the right and the left side of the upper chest. This oftentimes is the signature of the high priest. Another area that you might find satanic ritual carving is in the stomach area. And as was true in the St. Joseph's case, the pentagram or the inverted pentagram was carved right here in his abdomen area. And you'll note again the points representing again the goat's head. Another area we'll want to note is the foot area. And right here behind the ankle bone,
What are we
there's
rating those
oftentimes
feet
an
at, boys?
incision, just as our markings would indicate. And beyond that,
Thank
on
you.
the bottom of the foot, they will sometimes cut the flesh and peel it back. And so you'll also note that. Another thing that is oftentimes done in ritualistic homicides is a penis is placed inside
Go
the
down to
mouth
her
of the
cunt here.
deceased person.
A
Now,
penis
as
is
you
placed.
look at the body of a person such as this, please note each and every one of these markings. You might just see one of the markings. It could be just the carotid, or it might be just the marks behind the ankle, or as obvious as the pentagram. But whatever it is,
Dude,
if you
your
look
fucking
just a little bit
Freemason
deeper, ask a few more
symbology is pretty
questions,
obvious, bro.
and note to the investigators more information. It could lead to the solution
I find
of
that
other
shit
crimes
everywhere.
that
Or
have
anytime
been
it
just
appears, I always spot it.
passively sitting on the desk without any clues.
Obviously not that time, though.
Maybe you think your community is immune to these
Go away.
satanic crimes.
Leave
Well,
us alone.
It's not. The next victim
Halloween
might show up
sucks.
tomorrow on the beat. It could be in your community, or it could be in a major city or a small rural area.
Being bullied.
Could be a member of your family. Could be someone you know. I challenge you to
That sweater's
investigate
pretty
each
cool.
crime just a little bit deeper. Let's stop this heinous crime that's going on in the name of the devil. Let's stop it before it takes another victim. Let's stop the Richard Ramirez's and the Clifford St. Josephs before they kill one more innocent person.
This is Art Bell. Art Bell cut through and through.
Yeah.
That bore you a little bit, Blogger. It did at the end there. It was pretty. That was a pretty great tape up until Boring Black Man. Sleepy Carl Winslow.
Yes. Sleepy Winslow.
Yeah, it didn't do anything. I doubt this was even given to law enforcement.
It's probably done more to promote it than anything.